Welcome back to the Digital Terrace. We're about to jump into Ole Werner's presser. Just a heads up for everyone watching, we've got the official RB Leipzig feed up, but I'll be muting their audio so I can provide the English translation and my own tactical spin on what the boss is saying. This is all about reviewing the tactics for the RBL Talk community. Glad you could join us. Make sure the chat is over there so you can chat amongst yourselves if you're able to catch this live. Still haven't figured out what times we're going to do these press conferences anyway. So just a reminder for the chat and anyone joining in, this is a review and an Alice stream, and we'll be doing that very shortly. We're just going to make sure that the audio sounds okay and make sure that I look okay, obviously. Webcam works fine. And we sound alright here. So when we're ready, we will get cracking. I'll just start bringing up the feed on the YouTube side of things. Also, let me know down in the chat down below where you are watching this stream from as well. Whether you're watching from Germany or another part of the world, the United States, the UK. While we do that, we can have a look at the back end stuff with the podcast while I've got a spare minute, and we will get it going very shortly. It's been a little while since I've been on here, so it's telling me a bit more messages and notifications than I actually need. And hopefully we can have enough juice in the battery until that doesn't die on us. So we'll have this fully charged for the stream. Sunday morning, 2 a.m. my time. Saturday evening, we're live for the top spiel. I think it's about 6:30 p.m. at local time in Leverkusen when it's kickoff there. Alrighty. Hello, RBL Talk. Bellum is joining in the stream. Need more juice? Do we need to charge up Red Bull? No Red Bull for me this evening. Always normally have a bit of a coffee with me, as people are well aware of my coffee habits. And welcome to the stream, Ballum, Southwest London. If you're just joining in like Ballum, you can chat in the YouTube chat there, or you can join the RB Fans Discord, which is what we call the Digital Terrace. You can go over there and join the Discord channel, stay connected. There will be a link as well. And a quick one as well, if you do like the show, whoever is watching, and if the best thing you can do and the best free thing you can do is just like and subscribe to the channel over here on YouTube and anywhere else that the podcast is. We've got it over on X and Twitch as well. If you do want to send some monetary value, you can back the squad and go over here and scan the code there, take a screenshot, or just play back this video later, and you can send some monetary value, a tip or a monthly support. It goes directly to funding RBL Talk and the Digital Terrace, and the Digital Terrace QR code is up there, and it's there the whole time. So yep, I will have a Red Bull cup probably eventually. Let's get this stream underway with the live presser. So let's get this here, and let's do a screen share to get the presser. Anyone that's new is going to see the presser here. We'll just have to swap it out. It goes with, I believe this one is the one that we do. We swatch that around. And there we go. So just a reminder for the chat and anyone joining late, this is a review and analysis stream. And we are transforming the original footage with live commentary and translation to make it accessible for our English-speaking fans. All rights to the footage that we're about to watch belong to the football club RB Leipzig. So this is what we'll be watching down below, and then I will be translating it in real time to the best of my abilities with subtitles and closed captions. And then we'll be pausing for tactical breaks and analysis, and we'll also hand over to chat over there and to Digital Terrace and anywhere else that you would like to get involved. So comment along as well if you are going to get involved. You can write comments on Twitch, YouTube, or X where this is live. And we're about to get straight into it. So let me know what you think. And score predictions as well coming up for the game. So here it goes. Good to see the Gaffer Happer. But before the May 1st tomorrow, then there is a working day. So welcome to the press conference before we get our game on. Saturday 6:30 p.m. top match against Bayer Leverkusen. 21,000 fans will accompany us, a large number of players, so I think that's 2,100 fans, a large number of players. It's also Champions League crunch time. Oh, how are we preparing for it? And what about the personnel? So now this is Ole Werner speaking. Yes, hello from me after a full week of training, which went well, and now we have a final training session tomorrow, which of course will be important. A good opponent awaits us, a top match that we're looking forward to, one that we will go into the confidence, but also with the realization that, of course, a team with a lot of quality awaits us there, which will not be easy to play against. Everyone is there for now except for Leo, they would say Banzuzi, Sonny, and others, at least the squad options for Casti, so that would be for Castello, Lacaba, make the exact decisions about how we can use them tomorrow after the final training session. Someone says, thanks a lot. Then please feel free to ask your questions. So, for people that are, we will get into the who is free and who is not free. I did have a bit of a... Just give me a moment. I did think I shared it from the club the other day. If I didn't, I'll certainly find it while we're just waiting. So there is a few players that are out still, but we do have some players coming back, which can be actually implemented quicker than I thought with some of the players that are out. So let's have a look. We'll just quickly go through here. So the personnel update is David Raum, hamstring issues, has trained with the team again after starting the training week with an individual session. Castello Lacaba was back on the pitch with the squad for large parts of the week following his abductor issues and was able to complete the full session on Thursday. For the defensive duo, coaching staff around Ole Werner will wait for Friday's final training session and then decide on their involvement in the top match in Leverkusen. Nicholas Seiwald is also fit again, as he had missed the home win against Union Berlin for the first time this season due to an infection. He's now fit and ready for Leverkusen as well. So there was also some training management alone as well for Willy Orban. And if we're just getting into that, make sure you listen to the podcast as well. The link will be down in the show notes of the latest RBL Talk episode. for that, as there was a good tactical review as well coming into the preview of this. Willie Orban does feature that. And yep, Ballum testing on Twitter does work, and it does work in the chat over there as well. It does come through for there. So you can watch this completely on X, Twitter, over on YouTube, over wherever you like. The full chat will be over here, as with in the Digital Terrace, which you can scan the QR code over here, which is the Discord group for RB fans. And as Ballum says, German translation to English does help. As an English speaker, German is so hard to speak. Learning words is easier, as such as ich means I, for example. Yes, my English is a bit broken. For those of you that are well aware, my family is from Germany. Some from Leipzig, some from Kiel, and my great Oma, when she passed away, we haven't really spoken a lot of German since then. So my English is very broken. Sorry, I should say my German is very broken and very limited. So now we'll get back into the video here. Yes, I'll go straight on to David Raum and Castello Lacaba afterwards. How fully integrated were they into the week? This is coming now from Ole Werner. David trained with the team yesterday and today. He was on the pitch, trained individually for the first day of training, and Castello was actually there for the entire week. He just showed a bit of yesterday, but was still controlled yesterday, but has now participated almost completely on the field for the first day, and that's the current situation of both of them. There's another question. Someone goes, yes, maybe. Your honey picture is next. Another question from a reporter. It says, Ole, if we look back again, what does May 10, 2025 say? May 10, 2025, this is now Ole Werner. Was it Saturday, maybe? Okay, there might have been a football match going on. It will have been the previous match. And then my team played on Saturday. Werder Bremen played against RB Leipzig, but I don't know what that has to do with the next task. Exactly, you were the spoil sport and ruined RB's Champions League, in quotes, and RB ruined our European Cup. So in that respect, it was a perfectly enjoyable day for either team. So the reporter's basically saying when Ole Werner was a previous manager, his obviously previous team was Werder Bremen. Before that, it was Holstein Kiel. And when he was being the manager for Werder Bremen, they obviously spoiled the party that we weren't able to get the points and get into Champions League. As everyone's well aware, our last season was the worst finishing season, finishing out of the European points. And with, depending on what happens as well with the PSG and Bayern game, there is going to only be 4 Champions League spots. So we're definitely going to have to win to solidify our top, that'll be top 3, top 4, and to get in Champions League this coming weekend. Back to the questions. And now you can lead RB into the Champions League. What's going through your mind right now, knowing they're so close to goal, even though you might have seen faces of RB after missing out on... Let's just mute this just in case the audio is playing. After missing out on the Champions League, what does it mean that RB Leipzig is once again on the verge of qualifying for the Champions League? Yes, very, very good job so far. That we were, especially when you look at last season and the Champions League made in the summer, which of course always carry the risk that you don't know exactly how one piece of the puzzle will fit together with another. But it's so far worked out very, very well. The crucial point is now that we must... captions have stopped. Qualify for these 4 places, which are currently very important, and that's why my concentration on the team is exclusively on the next task, because you have to do a top job over 34 games. We did it over 31, but now these last 3 tasks are coming up, and you only have to be successful with them if you have your full focus on the next task. Bayer Leverkusen is also an absolutely top team. We saw it in the first leg, and that's all. That's my thoughts. Going any further than that, I'm really just focused on finding the best possible formation for the game in Leverkusen, making the best possible decisions during the game, having good options where you can influence the game going, because that's the very crucial at this stage, very crucial in top games, that you do that well, and that's all I have on my mind. Now, I did say in the last podcast episode as well, let me know what you think without spoiling it. I did say that, are we going to change our formation or something like that? And I would like your thoughts on what we should do, if we would change our formation any different, and should we do anything different compared to what we did against Union Berlin as well. Excuse me. So there's another question. Tom Bax again. Leverkusen have lost their 2 home games against quite different opponents. What did you learn from that? And this is now Ole Werner. Yes, I think it's an important to look at your own game and see where your strengths lie, and neither the case that would be terribly or well advised to a copy from FC Augsburg nor from Bayern, because they simply two different styles of play than the one we have, and also teams with different strengths. I think you have to find your own way to be successful, and they were also very different games. Leverkusen should never have lost against Augsburg. Yes, I think they had over 30 shots on goal. So it's an insane value. And against Bayern, well, there are not many teams this year that can beat Bayern. I think that's clear too. Therefore, we have to find your own way. And I actually think we know very precisely where our solutions are, where our strengths are. And I think it's about defending very, very well against Leverkusen, because there's a team that is extremely secure with the ball, and they can be seen in all their games. You just mentioned the 2 home defeats, but conversely, Leverkusen is also a team that won in Dortmund, something not many teams have managed to do this year, both in the league and in the Champions League. They drew against Bayern in everyday league play. You won't find many teams that got points, and they also drew home against Arsenal, for example. So it's a team that brings an incredible amount of quality. You have to defend well, you have to keep the spaces tight, you mustn't let yourself be lured in, because if you do that very, very well, find good changes of pace. Conversely, we are also aware of our quality, and that is the crucial point. You look at what the opponent is doing and know how you have to play against the ball, but above all, you also have to high quality in possession, secure on the ball, find depth, and constantly challenge the back line. How do they step out when they stay deep? I believe there are definitely themes you can address, and these can be seen in different games. The 2 games they recently lost at home, I think, are not suitable as a blueprint, given that they are different playing styles than the one that suits us. And then please protest. Okay, so that's obviously, it's already finished. It's a bit of an abrupt finish for the question there. Let's go and have a quick drink while we go through the next one. Having looking back at the questions and comments, nothing new there. So by all means, if you do want to have a chat, make sure that you chat through the comments section there. I don't get to see how many people are watching this live over on X, but that's okay. We watch those statistics later. So next question. Stefan Chenu on television, or speaking of one's own strengths, it's very much about development. How would you describe the team's current phase? Is the team currently in its strongest phase of the season? Let me know down your thoughts in chat down below, or wherever you're watching this, or over on the Digital Terrace Discord as well. Speaking of which, I should probably get my phone out really quick for that. And let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that this is the best time for RB Leipzig, that we've been the best, or was there another part of the season that we've really improved upon, and we're just getting some momentum, much needed momentum at a crucial stage? This is Ole Werner. Yes, you have to confirm it again and again. So what is the phase? How many games has it taken us to genuinely develop as a team in the way we play football? The clarity of our process is, I believe, very easy and clear to recognise. This applies not only to us, but also many teams. They naturally improve and work on their issues over the course of the season. But I am very, very satisfied with that. Now, this is that crucial phase where, yes, we always talked about the fact that you have to develop right up until the last match day. Excuse me. That remains the case, that you look at content, and also these last 2.5 weeks of the season, where you still make adjustments to develop in such a way that you achieve the results you need in the final phase. And that's what we want to develop again in this final phase. And we play another good phase, but these last 3 games are, for me, separate from the games before them. Very well spoken there from the Gaffer. I do think that this is very spot on from him. I do think that he's looking at it in the right perspective going forward, and that we are, what's the word? That we are doing well. We are refining everything, but we're also making sure that we're not focusing on the previous results. We're focusing on the here and now, and the natural improvement has shown. This is from Ole Krumner, MZB Live. How do you deal with the situation of having 3 Champions League balls or match balls, which is convenient on the one hand, but on the other hand, you might have to remind the players about it? But please make the most of the first opportunity right now. Or how do you expect the team to get there? And this is now Ole Werner. Yes, very focused, and I experienced the same approach from the team as I do with the game. We're looking ahead to the next game, and everyone is aware that most of the players have already experienced too much football. I think you don't have to be 35 by then. It's enough if you've played football yourself in youth football up to this point, so that you know that a season goal is only ever achieved when it's actually there, and that's why we're only focused on Leverkusen and prepared for everything that might await us there. But that's our focus, and after that we'll look at St. Pauli and then at Freiburg, which, by the way, this is now me cutting in, not from Ole Werner. I'm also doing live stream watch-alongs of those games as well. Due to my work roster, I'm able to do every single game on the weekend, of the match days, including this weekend, and you can catch those live here right on the Digital Terrace over on YouTube, Twitch, and X as well. So make sure to join the top spiel if you can't get to the Leverkusen game. And if you're an RB Leipzig fan worldwide, you will be covered watching the football not alone, but with the Digital Terrace. Back to Ole Werner. Yes, it's great motivation to achieve the goal, but that's noticeable, but it doesn't lead to us being unfocused anywhere. Quite the opposite. I experienced the team as extremely focused, extremely willing in training, and that's the right approach for now. And then there will be 3 close games at the end of the season, as there always are. And we often talked about the little things, about moments that decide games. This will also be the case for the last 3 match days, and I'm convinced that you can turn these moments to your side if you prepare well and prepare for all scenarios that can come from within 90 minutes. But also, you can generally come your way in such a phase, and I see as very well prepared. The one thing I will say negative about that is you don't want to try to over prepare for every scenario, because if you over prepare for every scenario, then you never really focus on what is going most likely going to happen. So I can understand where he's coming from a sense of adjusting mid game from something that can happen, like something out of the ordinary, and be able to adapt. But you don't really want to try to think about and over prepare for every single little tiny thing, because that's just not possible. You're never going to be able to do that. You have to be able to adapt on the fly. You basically just have to scout well, prepare well from your opposition, focus on that, and then if they tweak something on match day or they spit out something new, that's when you really show your adaptability and how you can coach, or in the sense of world managers and manage a team. Next question towards Ole Werner. Leverkusen desperately needs a win, so if the score is tied up for about 10 minutes, they throw everything forward with the goalkeeper. Is that an advantage to you? And have they able to be so offensive? Will they need 3 points? They might inevitably give you some space. And so what the reporter there is asking is basically saying, because they desperately need to win to have the 3 points, are they going to overcommit? Are they going to overpress? Are they going to go all out? And are they going to leave space behind their fullbacks? And are they going to end up having the wide spaces and the half spaces able for the wingers on both sides and our fullbacks to exploit? So inadvertently, because they're going to be going all out, it's going to give us opportunities as well. Excuse me. This is now Ole Werner speaking. Yes, that can happen during the course of the game. You'd be in the phase of the season we're in now, where they are always games where a point isn't worth as much as it might around match day 15 or 20. And that can happen. Such a scenario can occur. We're still focusing on ourselves for now and trying to achieve the best possible result for our case, or to go into the final phase with the best possible result, as is always the case. So we're not playing for a specific result, or thinking through all the possible scenarios from the very first moment, how the game might go, but rather we're saying that we need to give our best performance in order to go into the final phase of the game with a good result, and of course we're going to go there to get the win. This is Stefan Schroner. The next question for Ole Werner. I believe Ovila Minslav suggested that keeping Jan Diamond on for another year wouldn't be the worst idea, because you'll probably still get money in a year. I don't think that they want to get rid of him. So how did they perceive it? This is now Ole Werner. Yes, positive. Jani's, as I have already emphasised several times, is not only a game changer for us, who is still only at the beginning of his development, but also is a player we really enjoy working with, someone you can really work well with. And as a coach, of course, I think they're talking about Jan Diamande. I think the captions have it wrong here. And as a coach, of course, you would like to work with such a player for longer than a year. I'm still aware that several things come into play that you, as a coach, don't ultimately decide on your own. But from a sporting point of view, from a coaching point of view, it would be desirable, and that it could also be beneficial for the boy if we qualify for Champions League. I think there's no two opinions about that. There's another question happening now. Sorry, just have a quick look at the notifications. Don't worry about that. So we'll throw it over to the Digital Terrace as well. Bellum says, last time you drink Red Bull, for me, it was last week, Wednesday. Last time I drank Red Bull was probably last year sometime, maybe sometime in January. Not a big Red Bull drinker. I actually don't remember the last time I drank Red Bull. So for me, I'm basically a coffee drinker. I do enjoy my black coffee. Let's have a look. Nothing else in there. Just throw it over to the Digital Terrace. Also got some comments as well from the last game and last podcast episode. They're over on the Digital Terrace as well. So I won't be going into detail on those today, but I will be going into detail on the very next episode next week of the podcast. So back to the questions. I'm not too sure if they ended up going the full 20 odd minutes, because sometimes these streams finish early. No, it did go 20 minutes. That's okay. And the microphone doesn't come through either. Last week, when you were asked about the goalkeeper position, you said, okay, Martin is doing well, he'll stay in for now. Before Martin, two boys, Max Fingrafe and Chad Bishebu, also did well, and those are also young and still need a lot of playing time, perhaps for their future. If their two experienced players return, does that mean they should immediately be put back on the bench? Or is it also worth considering that they did well and therefore should be allowed to play in Leverkusen? Now, before Ole Werner answers this, if it's up to me, I stick with the team almost essentially as we had against Union Berlin. If David Raum comes in, for me, he doesn't play straight away, for the simple fact he's coming back from an injury. So I'm putting him in if he's fit enough to play, and as, say, a starting 11, he deserves to play from 60 minutes in as our number one change. Let Max Fingrafe play, get the experience. Same thing for Castello-Luqueba. I think Bishebu still deserves to play, although that one is a little bit touch and go, because there's a couple of times against Union Berlin, Chedo Bishebu looked really, really bad, and he's going to get eaten alive if he does those type of mistakes against Leverkusen. But that being said, he needs to develop more. So I'm happy to have him on. Me as a manager, though, I'm the type of person where I'd let him go on, but I don't mind making a change 10 minutes in if he's just playing like absolutely poor as. I'm happy to send a message, just be like, no, that was the wrong change, swap out, and then put the Castello-Luqueba straight on. This is now Ole Werner. He says, of course, the performances they both delivered are now also in my mind. And it's like this. I was mostly satisfied with both of them in the games, although you always have topics they can work on. This doesn't just apply to two different, otherwise you'll find it with every player, but overall it was very, very important in recent weeks that the players who were more in the second now came in and at that time and did their job well. Therefore, it's absolutely on our minds, as I said, we'll only be looking at Casto and Raumi tomorrow to exactly how we're going to do it. We're going to approach it in Leverkusen, therefore, I haven't made a decision on yet and can't tell you anything concrete. So there's another next question from Ole Krummer. Is harping on about the Champions League topic, is there anyone in case where it works out this time, is anything being prepared, or are you already there, or would you allow the... I didn't catch that, but I said something about a pack of extra case of beer in case Stuttgart and Hoffenheim are playing a direct duel against each other. This is now Ole Werner speaking. No, I'm not involved in such matters. We are focusing on the sporting aspect, and as I said, I think we are on the right track. And that's it. Okay, Tom Backman. Bit of laughter, allegedly. So we'll stick with the Champions League. There was a pretty nice game in Paris on Tuesday. Perhaps that was a taste of what's to expect next season. What's your take on this as a coach? I mean, the average fan says, wow, what a spectacle, incredible, a super good game for you as a coach, too. Or would you rather say about the goals conceded? So I don't know why we're talking about the Bayern game personally, but Ole Werner goes, oh, yes, absolutely, a fantastic game. Also, as a coach, because you naturally see a lot of attacking play, because you simply see what incredible plays are there. Two teams that play completely man to man across the entire field, and then you have to be very good at attacking players and as good as the defenders are. But when they defend one on one in a huge spaces, then a game with a great many chances arises. It's very entertaining. That's an approach that absolutely impresses me in the consistency which both teams execute it, especially because on the other side there's also a quality on the pitch that then converts into the scoring opportunities and goals. Yes, there are 1,000 ways to be successful, and this style of play, if you just look at the overall number of goals conceded in knockout games this year, not just with Bayern, while perhaps due to the fact that it is a German team, it's a bit more noticeable. Having a closer look at the results, but then we also have Barcelona, Newcastle, so really high scores, then you can see the advantages and disadvantages of certain systems of play. It's simply interesting, isn't it? And the consistency with which both teams, manage to implement them, and simply trusting their strengths, trusting their game plan, defending like that one on one without much mutual support, even though you know the quality on the other side. That's really impressive. That's actually always what you want as a coach, that your team then implements your idea with complete conviction, and that's what I saw in the game. Therefore, a very impressive football match. The only thing that's been getting on my nerves for the last 2 days is this handball rule, which sometimes really takes the fun out of it for me. It was like that again yesterday, where I thought, well, it can't be. I mean, it can be right that so many penalties are given, that such decisions are sometimes so glaring. There are situations where, as a normal football fan, or even as someone who does this professionally, I think you have a very clear opinion. The rule is what it is, so it's not a wrong decision, but it annoys me. I can certainly agree with the Gaffer there, with the handballs. For me, it's never a wrong decision, but for me, sometimes there is certain footballing actions where the arm is in a unnatural position, as they say, and even though the arm is in an unnatural position, it's actually a natural position for that action. So what I'm meaning is that when a footballer goes to make a challenge, sometimes they will move their arm and body in a certain way, and how the body's dexterity, I can't even say the word, thanks for my speech impediment, the dexterity, or how the body moves in certain positions with weight transfer and everything like that, it's actually in its natural position. It's not attempting to block the ball. I think they need to implement that a bit more in their rulings when it comes to how the handball rule is interpreted, that if the player is one, meaning it as well, and two, is it in a unnatural position, but is it also natural for that bodily action? If you also want to get involved with the stream, make sure that you do comment down below and wherever you are watching this. Also, if you don't catch this live, please write the comments down below. What is the best time that you would like me to start doing these? As I wasn't able to get this live done because it was, I think, about 2:30 p.m. on the day on Thursday, which was yesterday. It's now Friday. My time technically it's Saturday now, my time, Friday for everyone else, 3:13 a.m. This was the next best time that I could do it, as I was at work 24 hours ago, so I was unable to do it during the actual live of it because I was working, and also this is the time I would normally be able to get home from work and get this out as quick as possible. So next question. So this is still Ole Werner. So even as a uninvolved person, it annoys me. Yes. Uli Krumner. Two more personnel questions. It says Dicky, but this should say Nicky Seiwald is fully fit again and can play defensive midfield. That was the first. Yes, good. And the second is the right back position. Rydal Baku is impressing game after game, and he's just gotten back into the great form. They wouldn't be able to get past him. How do you then address the discussion with Benjamin Henriks, who will probably have to bury his World Cup dream, right, since he's getting very, very little playing time, at least from the start? Love Benny Henriks, absolutely, especially when he had his ACL tear last year. I honestly really hope he does get a really good run in these last few games and does get a call up for the international squad team there for Germany. And this is now Ole Werner. Yes, of course, we're in contact and discussing it because clearly Benny isn't satisfied with his playing time and has said so several times already. No surprises there, top player. Of course, he could play more, and play. Yes, I trust him as much as a Rydal. On the other hand, as you just said, when you're in this phase of the season, things are working really well for the team, and a player is performing exceptionally well, then you don't need arguments for someone, which I undoubtedly have for Benny, but you also need arguments for taking someone out. It is always a matter of weighing performances, but not only that, but also what's working well as a group, and whether you need to change that or the team is in a good run, as we've already discussed, in good form, which gives you some leeway to make changes with good arguments. And the fact is, this situation having players who are on par with each other, who can both deliver top performances for us, is an absolute key factor for the team to be successful in the end. And we were just talking about Max and I'm going to say that would be say Schlager, as for example players who come in and then perform well, and you depend on that. That also applies to Benny and Rydal in their positions, and that's why, as is often the case in football, it's tough for the individual and perhaps not always 100% fair, because they give just as much, they have as much quality to play, but it's very, very good for a team and absolute success factor that you have this competition, because it means that no one can sit back and we benefit from that, even if it's certainly not easy for Benny. And what I will do say really quickly is that for people that missed the Union Berlin game, go back and watch the highlights of that, or even if you just look back at the score sheet, the stats actually said, which was really fantastic actually, from the heat maps and everything like that, through SofaScore, which I've just upgraded from Facebook Ref going to SofaScore for the podcast, that we both had both fullbacks actually scored. So we had Max Fingrafe and Rydal Baku both scoring. You don't have many that doesn't normally happen a lot in football games. So that just goes to show how advanced our fullbacks get. They get in these attacking positions, and they'll both manage to get on the score sheet, which was really good. This is back for another question. Not for him either. Now you've already won a title. You became a German youth champion as a player. The under-19 team starts the final round on Saturday. What do you think the under-19 can achieve? Will there perhaps be a small reinforcement for the under-19 team? Because Andrea Maximowitz, probably how I'm going to pronounce that, doesn't play that much for you, but it would be a perfect fit given her age. Yes, to me, that title I won back then most a minor title, so I don't. This is now Ole Werner, by the way. So I don't think it's worth mentioning. Not worth mentioning. Great. I think you can expect a lot from the under-19s. Of course, it's a knockout round and only one game, so anything can happen. And I think the team had a very, very good season, both as a team and in terms of individual development. And I think the coaching staff, the entire youth development, has really done a good job. And so we have high hopes for the boys. I think we're looking forward to this round as it is now. It starts right away with an exciting challenge against HSV, but I think the boys are well prepared and eager for this game. And I think we already talked about Andrea 2 weeks ago. I see him in our group. You never know what will happen in these last games. We see incredible potential in him. He will definitely stay with us. This is now my quick take on it before probably the last question by looking at the stream. We've always had a really good youth setup, and youth players coming through the ranks as well. So that's one thing that I will always recommend. Not only as our scouting world class, some of our youth facilities and the way we get these little gems and good players coming through the youth system as well is something that RB Leipzig has always done well with. So back to next questions. Okay. Uli Krimmer, would you like to add something? Marco Rosa will have a new coaching starting this summer job. Did you notice that? Did you perhaps have any contact with him during your time here in Leipzig? Do you ever talk about your predecessor on the phone? Now this is Ole Werner. No, we didn't have any contact during that time. I also think it's very rare for the successor of the successor after the successor to call their predecessors. I think it really happens less often than the question. Ole Werner having a bit of humour there. I don't mind that. That's pretty good. Is asked. So clearly, you don't. Yes, that many maybe. I've always had a good relationship with Rosie, but at games and at coaching conferences, always got along very, very well with him. I think he's a very pleasant person and a good coach, and I'm happy for him. I think it's a great challenge. Yes, the biggest league in the world, a huge opportunity for him. Of course, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for him. And yes, I'm happy that he's back in the game. As I said, I've always found him to be very pleasant and was always happy to see him. It hasn't happened here yet in Leipzig, but that's also because I'm here a lot and otherwise in the apartment and on the way in between. And otherwise, I'm not out and about that much. Gotta love a little bit of Ole Werner humour in that one. Question related to football. Now, you're a northerner. The election is coming up now. Now comes Timmy is finally here. You've been waiting. Please leave me alone with that. Okay, then, let's drop everything. Question. You are indeed Timmy, who's on the way to the North Sea. You come from the north. Have you been following this? What's on your take on it? Are you happy about it as many other Germans? This is now Ole Werner. Yes, I wish the election all the best, and I'm glad that the matter that might be settled. So in a positive way, he means that it's positive. Yes, back there. So in a positive way, of course, let's make this work. Yes, yes. We'll open the ship finder and see where the ship is right now. Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Yesterday it was stuck in rush hour traffic, I read. Okay. So this has really opened the door for creativity and gets the gate open. The whole issue, one really has to say yes. Then I would say with these words, we end the press conference. Thank you all very much. Have a nice holiday tomorrow. See some of you on Saturday in Leverkusen, and then goodbye. Bye. That is everything there from the press conference from RB Leipzig. So that is it for the press conference. We will just chill for a couple of minutes before I close off this stream as well. This has been the live stream watch along for the press conference of Ole Werner from RB Leipzig, our manager. or our coach, depending on where you're from around the world. And I will just mention as well that reminder for anyone that is joining late and had just seen a little bit. This is a review and analysis stream. We just transform the original footage with live commentary and translation to make it accessible for our English-speaking fans. All rights belong to the club, and that is RB Leipzig. So all I'll ask you to do really quickly is that if you want to back the squad to help cover the costs of RB Leipzig and everything that I do, scan that QR code there or go down the link in the description to help support the show, give the show a tip, or sign up monthly to help out cover the costs. Otherwise, the best three thing you can do is like and subscribe to this channel and like the video, and wherever else you see the RBL Talk podcast over on Twitch, X, Twitter, everywhere else like that. Join the Digital Terrace Discord group for all fans worldwide. That is the best place that you can go for 24/7 chat for RB Leipzig fans around the world. I'm actively in there every day, so if you want to ask questions and things like that, that's the best way to do it. We also have a live stream coming up this Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Sunday for me, 2 a.m. Saturday time for everyone else. I think it's a 6:30 kickoff in Leverkusen for the top spiel. I'll be doing a watch along for that. RB Leipzig versus Leverkusen away from home. That will be happening in the Bay Arena. So if you can't get to the game, if you're in Germany and you're watching the game at home or wherever you're watching it, jump on the Digital Terrace and jump with us and chat with us during the game. We'd love to have you on board. And if you are around the world instead, excuse me, if you're around the world anywhere else and you can't obviously get to the game because you don't live in Germany, please do join us for the watch along this coming Saturday. I'll be there and I'll see you on Saturday. Until next time, bye-bye for now.